beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Today I want to talk to you about opportunities missed, and it's not what you think it might be. A lot of times we have this thought or this idea that we missed out on something. I was just going to get, this memory is coming up for me. I was going to adopt a dog. I travel like 45 minutes with my son in the car. I get there, I come in, and I see the new owner of the dog I was going to adopt holding on to that dog and taking pictures of celebrations that she had just adopted it. Feeling I just missed out on this dog. Opportunity was missed. Then the thought begins to come in to like, if I had been there earlier, if I had done this faster, if I had blah, 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 right? All the things that we tell each other to make ourselves feel wrong. What if there's nothing wrong with you when you see or acknowledge that there's an opportunity that you quote unquote missed? What if that opportunity being missed is actually a redirection into the right path or the right pattern for you to have an even better experience? Okay, so as you guys may know, I did end up adopting a dog. He's the perfect dog for us, and of course we love him so much, and he came in at a better time for us. At the time that we went to collect that first dog, that we walked in and the lady had just adopted him, we were about to go on a trip, and it would have been difficult to figure out what to do with the dog in terms of the hotels or the place that we were staying at did not allow pets, and how to adjust with a new pet at that time. It just would not have been a good thing. The new pet came in exactly after our trip. So after we had taken the trip and we were back home and we could properly take care of him and accustom him to us and our home. So opportunity missed? Not really. The opportunity is moved, or you are geared around it, or things don't work out for you because there's something better aligned, more beneficial for you and everyone around you that is there, but you are not aware of it right now. Your higher self is your divine part, the part of you that is connected to or is part of the divine, the creator, God, whomever made you. And your higher self is always connected to that divine, to the grandness, to the all, and it knows and it can see everything. Not like we can see from our human bodies. It can see everything. As in, you pick up a book and your higher self knows exactly what's in that book before you, the human, reads it and knows whether it's going to be a good thing for you or not, whether it's going to help you or not. Same thing with any classes or courses that you take. Same thing with any schooling that you go to or friends that you make. Your higher self knows the lesson before you even know you're going to have a lesson. So opportunity missed, when you're really working to get something or to go somewhere and get that thing that you want, and it doesn't happen. Listen and pay attention to these things. Listen to like, why didn't it happen? Because most of the time we tend to say to ourselves, it didn't happen because, and then we come up with so many negative reasons to put ourselves down that would explain why this didn't happen, right? So for example, I'll give you another personal example here. When I was in my 20s, I had just finished my school to get, I can't even speak today. I just got my degree to become a teacher, and I started interviewing. And I went on a lot of interviews, and the market was very competitive in terms that you had to interview 3-4 times and give like a sample lesson before you had the job. So it wasn't a thing of like, okay, somebody needs help, let me go over there, here's my credentials, this is what I can do, and then you're hired or not. It was like, okay, well, let's see if you can make it to the next round and the next round and the next round. And each round had more people interviewing you and watching you. And it was just really grueling. It was not a fun experience for me at all. And it was like 4 different times that I made it to the very last interview, where it was between me and somebody else, and the somebody else will get this job. And it was all because this somebody else had experience, and I was fresh out of college and I had no experience in the classroom besides my student teaching. So 4 times this happened to me, and I became more and more critical of myself, more and more disillusioned, and more like, why did I even do this? This was like so difficult for me. But here's the thing. I didn't take any of these jobs. I mean, I didn't get any of those jobs. But my higher self knew that there was something else there for me, something bigger and better for me. And that something bigger and better turned out to be me traveling to a different country and moving there. I lived in Italy for about 9 months, and I had a wonderful, exquisite experience that I would not have been able to hold had I started a job at any school. Because you guys know, once you get a job from whatever it is that you went to study, and you get in, you start working, then you need to work for your tenure, or what if you're in the corporate world, you have to work for, to get more years there so that you're not easily fired, and to learn and to move up on the ladder, and all of those things happen. And so all of these things keep us attached, tied to the job, right? And if I had gotten any teaching job, that is exactly what would have happened. I would not have had the freedom to just take up and go and move to a different country and do whatever I wanted for about 9 months, right? That's a really long time to experience life from that freedom point of view of I can do whatever I want, right? And so my higher self knew this before I even knew that this was going to happen, it was going to present itself to me, or that I even was going to want to do. It was just an incredible event in my life that presented itself. And I'm saying presented itself because I never thought or dreamt about, maybe when I get older, I will go and move to a different country and experience that. That was not like even in the faintest dreams for me, or it's something that happened. I'll tell you how it happened. I took a trip, a 1 week long trip to Italy. I fell in love with the country and the people and the way that they were living, and I came back refreshed, and I was like, I'm moving there. This is like, oh my gosh, like I felt so incredibly amazing that I need to live there. And then everything that happened after that decision just was flowing. I was like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, and everything moved. It was in end of April when I took my trip. I came back beginning of May, and I was in Italy living there by the 3rd week in September of that same year. So this is how fast things move, okay? When they are aligned. So again, didn't get any of those jobs that I wanted, quote unquote, because there was something better and bigger that I wasn't even dreaming about available for me. And then once that thing presented itself to me, then I took action, right? Taking action is one of the biggest steps that people who are working on manifesting forget about. The ones who are actually not manifesting, but working on getting it and like failing at it, meaning like it's not happening. It's taking action, guys. We can dream and do affirmations or posters and look at them and visualize. All of those things are amazing to manifest. But when the opportunity shows up for you, you actually need to take action. You have to move. I had to buy a ticket. I had to sell my house. I had to figure out what to do with all of my possessions that I own at that time, right? These are actions that I needed to do and take And then what happened is once I decided, okay, I need to get rid of this, then what happened? Somebody would come up and want to buy it, like quickly. It was very, very well aligned. It wasn't like, okay, I need to get rid of this, and then months go by and nobody's, asking for it, or nobody wants to do it, right? That's not being aligned. When you're aligned, you make a decision, you make the action, and then it happens. Because as if by magic, the universe brings you the right person that's going to take you to the next level, to the next place, to the next thing that you need to do. Does that make sense? So I've seen this happen also with careers. If you are pursuing a career, whatever career it is, and you're in it, or you're and you're wanting to get to the next level, or get the next thing, and you're like really dreaming, like that's what I want, but it's not happening for you. It's not happening for you because there's something else that's greater and better for you. But it is our egos that keeps us grounded to that, or I should say more like tied and attached to that thought and idea that it has to be this way, the way that I'm thinking about. And while you're doing that, you are preventing all the other possibilities that are available for you from coming into your space. And this is where you're stuck. This is why things aren't happening. Now, you might also be in a job, like the job of your dreams, quote unquote, the one that you wanted to do, the one that you studied for, the one that you're like, oh my gosh, it's an amazing experience or an amazing opportunity for me. You're probably making money, or maybe not, I don't know. And maybe you're like stressed and you're really good at your job, but you're not having the quality of life that you liked, right? So this also happens to a lot of people who go into the corporate world. They're like, okay, I studied, I know the person, I got my job, I'm working, I'm on top of the world, yet you're completely stressed. You have no time for your family. You have no time for yourself. There's no privacy in terms of getting emails or phone calls during the weekend or after hours, and it's something that you feel like you need to answer. That is not the dream, is it? Right? And we tend to tell ourselves that is the dream because that is what you studied for and that's what you went for. But really looking back into like, wow, is this really the life that I want? To continue to working like this all the time, day after day, same thing again, the stress, the repetition. Yes, you might be successful. Yes, you might be good at your job, but is this the joyful life that you had planned for yourself, that you thought you were going to have once you reached your goals? If it isn't, if you're not having joy at your work, in whatever it is that you're doing, then there's something misaligned and there's something better available for you. What happens is that if you're already there, a lot of us are feeling like, well, I've already done all of this. I've already put this many years. I'm already making this much money. If I leave now to do something else, something that I don't even know what it might be, something that I don't even know if it might work, then I'm going to lose everything that I've worked for and everything that I've had. I cannot make this type of money by starting something brand new from scratch. I cannot make this much money by changing careers or going to a different company or a different thing. These are all limiting beliefs that are lies. And I know this for a fact because I have seen it with so many people leaving their jobs, their careers that were not well aligned, the ones that you might be good at, but it's not bringing you that joy or that freedom. It's bringing you stress. It's bringing you that feeling of like, always working, very stressful. I don't like this. I don't even have enough money to buy what I want. All of those things that are happening are really your angels, your guides, your higher self telling you it's not well aligned for you. There is something better for you. And the only way to get that something better is to take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith and go in the direction of what makes your heart and soul sing with joy. When you are having fun, when you're having joy, when you're full of love for what you're doing, for the things that you are coming across, for the people that are around you, that's when you're aligned. And then everything else that you want comes to you. Everything else is just shown to you. Just like when I moved to Italy. everything was shown to me, and I just took action, and there it was. And I had a beautiful, amazing 9 months of life in a different country. While I was there, I also traveled around Europe because it was so easy to do that while I was already there, and inexpensive. So it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, guys. And I saw so many different things, so many different cultures, so many different people. An experience that I could not have had if I had gotten the job that I wanted, quote unquote, and worked at that time, right? Now, when I came back from that experience, you might say, well, why did you come back? Well, I ran out of money. I was an immigrant in the other side, so I wasn't really like having the money, even though I was having so much joy. I decided to come back to the States and work for a bit, save money, and go back. But then that was the year that 9/11 happened. And I was quite thankful that I was here in the States when 9/11 happened, because I was closer to my family. And I was able to communicate and go see them, where if I had been in Europe, that would have been much, much more difficult. So I ended up staying. Different things happened, and I ended up staying, and I ended up teaching. I ended up having the job and the teaching and doing the things, and I was really good at it, guys. I was like a really good art teacher, which is what I was teaching, art. I felt fulfilled. I felt great. I had praise. I had like all of the things that you, as security, all the things that you might think that might come from reaching the goal that you are giving yourself, right? Studying to be a teacher, becoming a teacher, working as a teacher, and then being good at it, right? Because sometimes you do all of those things and then you get there and you're like, oh yeah, that's not for me. I can't believe I wasted 4 years of my life, or maybe even more, studying this stuff when I'm really not cut out for it. And I've seen that happen as well, because I taught for 15 years, so I did see other teachers come in and feeling that overwhelming feeling and then just quitting because it's just not for them. But no, I was really good. Yet, it wasn't making my heart sing. I had moments when my heart was singing. I had moments where I would teach and everything was great and the kids were having fun and everything was getting it. And it was just like, being in the flow, amazing, yeah. And then it would be something else happen, and then I wasn't having that. It was like going through the motions. Have you been going through the motions of whatever it is that you're doing that is not actually making your heart sing, your heart and soul? So it was about my 5th year teaching. I was extremely stressed, very stressed, so stressed, in fact, that I got the shingles. The shingles is a virus that if you had chickenpox as a child, which I did, it stays in your body, and then it can come out as the shingles as you're older, and it's brought out as from stress. And I was in my early 30s, okay? So I was really stressed. I took a year off work. I was able to do that. Because I was single, I was making the money, I had saved, so I was able to take a full year off from that while I, quote unquote, found myself and did something else. And I did that. Didn't make it. I didn't quite make it. It wasn't exactly my thing. I thought I had found something, but it wasn't. And so then I went back to teaching. And then when I went back to teaching, I had a different perspective and I enjoyed it so much more. And I did that for another 10 years. But at about year 10, I promise you that this is relevant to the whole point of this. About year 10 of teaching, so 5 years after my 1 year break that I had taken, I started feeling again that feeling of not sure if this is for me. I don't know if this is really fulfilling me. There must be something else there. But I also had that feeling that I spoke to you at the beginning of this of what else am I going to do? I already have tenure. I already am making this much money. I have a secure place. All of these things, right? The fear of losing what I've worked for and what I've had, right? So that came up for me. And I was also comfortable. I was able to just like buy whatever I wanted. I had health insurance. Everything was working. People were really good to me. The people at my job were pretty good for me. Like if I needed to go out for a doctor's appointment, which it was a lot of times because I was working on getting pregnant and I was having a difficult time. So I had a lot of doctor's appointments. They work with me. They allowed me to come in late. They allowed me to leave early. I felt guilty, but like all of these things, they were really good to me. And I was very appreciative. And I felt guilty for not feeling completely happy there. Finally, when I started going deep within me, so digging deep, what is it that my soul wants? It's not that I knew that this is what I needed to do, but it just happened, right? I was getting to a point that I was like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me, why I'm not feeling appreciative, I don't know why I want to leave this, I don't know what I would do. And then, boom, something started to show itself up for me. It came to me in the form of someone that I knew that was speaking about things that took my attention. It piqued my attention. I was like, what is that? What is that? And I couldn't get enough of the information that this person was giving. And I was listening, and I was following, and I was digging deep. And then finally, this person had a course, something that she was teaching, and I knew I had to work with them. I had to. And I had no idea what they were teaching, or what it was going to do for me, or why I needed it even. I just had this feeling inside that I had to work with them. And it was the most scariest thing I had ever done in my life, because for the first time, I had to look at myself and invest money, which is a big amount of money that I had never invested on myself before, on something that I had no idea what it was. And I did it anyway, because all the signs kept telling me. I kept getting like signs after signs, like synchronicities, you know, those little things like, oh, I'm thinking of this person, they call me, or like, I don't know, the repeating numbers and stuff. I was getting a lot of that, and so I did it. I took that leap without looking back. And then once I started doing the work, it wasn't even 3 weeks of me doing the work that I started to see and feel the difference within myself. It came in the way of my stress dissolving, everything at work being the same, but not bothering me anymore. All the little things that used to bother me, they didn't. I was just like, oh, that's interesting, or that's funny. And I would smile. I would just sit back. I didn't feel rushed to do anything. My colleagues were running around like chickens with no heads, getting things done when things were moving and stuff. And I would just like sit back and wait and not rush into it. It would turn out that they would end up doing and figuring things out and giving me the answers. And I was like, oh my gosh, how does it get any better than that? I wasn't even saying that sentence back then because it wasn't in my space, but that's what was happening. I was like, oh my gosh. I sat down to take a moment to make space for what's happening. Everyone else running like a chicken with no heads, figuring it out. Then they come to me and they give me the answer, and I have done nothing. And it's like, I wasn't even asking for it. It just was given to me. That is how easy my life changed, and it became. It became a complete smooth wave of joy and ease. And what I'm trying to show you here is that nothing changed around me. I was changing. And because I was changed, everything seemed to go with ease, right? And so it wasn't like I was in a different place or making more money with different people, or there was like less stress or whatever. That wasn't it. It was that I had a different perspective because I was doing the work. And from there, well, I never looked back, right? I just kept on doing the work, and I'm continuing to do the work. And now I realize that everything happened for me. And so if you're having thoughts, ideas of, oh, I missed the boat on this, I really wanted that, but now it's too late, or whatever it is, remember, you actually aren't missing the boat. You actually aren't missing the opportunity. You are skipping that opportunity because there's something better for you. And so be grateful. Oh my goodness, I just missed that. Oh, I didn't get that job. I didn't get the part. I didn't get whatever it is. I didn't buy the house that I wanted to buy. Somebody else bought it. There's something better for you. You may not know what it is, when it's going to happen, or why it's happening, but it's going to be something that's even better than you could have ever imagined. And go with it. go with it. Continue doing the things. Continue looking for the job. Continue looking for the lessons that you want to learn, or the courses that you want to take. Continue looking for the home you want to buy, or the parts that you want to play, or whatever it is that your niche is, right? Whatever it is that you're looking for. Continue looking for it. Continue taking the steps, but make sure that you are having fun as you're doing them, and also recognizing that when it doesn't happen, when it falls through, when there are obstacles after obstacles, when things are hard, that is your higher self telling you this is not the right one. Stop it. Go to the other one. I'm going to give you one last example. When I was in my early 20s, my parents wanted to buy a house. We were renting a home, and we were looking around, and nothing was easy. And then this one house came on the market, and my mom was like, oh, that's the house. I really have this feeling. So we went. I saw it. I knew it. Like, yes, this is it. Like, it was like, yes, this is it. This is our house. There was no thought about it. There was no, let me look inside. It was like a knowing. This is it. And we all had that feeling. The whole family had that feeling that this was the house. And it was. We were able to buy that house within 6 weeks of making that decision because of the paperwork and stuff. It was very easy, smooth transition. We moved. It was excellent. Same thing happened years later when I was single. I was looking for a home for me. I was in Nashville. I saw a house. I decided I need a bigger house. I was living in a townhome, and I needed a bigger home because I had just adopted a new puppy, and the new puppy needed room to run. And I had just come back home from visiting my family for Christmas. I think I came back on the 28th. I decided to look online for homes. On the 29th, I found this house. I was like, this is the house. It couldn't possibly have all the things I wanted. I wanted what do you call it? Oh, tile. I wanted tile in the kitchen, and I wanted hardwood floors. And I was like, I'm not going to find that, am I? I found this house in the neighborhood I wanted. It was amazing. I took a ride over there. I looked out the window. It was empty. It had the floors that I wanted. I called my realtor. I'm like, I want to see this house. Can I see it tomorrow? Yes. And then that was on the 30th of December. So it was the day after. And I went in. I'm like, yep, this is the house. The house was mine by January 23rd, I believe. That fast. This is how fast things that are aligned for you and that are good for you happen. When things are hard, when it takes forever for you to get there or to receive or to get that thing that you're working for, it's not aligned for you. So don't sweat it. Let it go. Let it go. And just realize that there's something better. Get yourself out of the way. Stop listening to the ego and feel the feelings in your body, the way it feels. If it feels hard, if it feels frustrating, it's not for you. If it feels easy and light, it is for you. So go with the feelings. Realize that when things aren't working out for you, when you're missing an opportunity, feel into it. How does it feel? The last interview that I went to when I was looking for a teaching job, that first time before I moved overseas, I went there. I sat outside of the school, I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I actually don't want to go in here anymore. Like, I didn't even want to go for the interview. My soul already knew that there was something else happening for me. I didn't know what it was, but I got there, I looked at it, and I just had that feeling like, I don't really want this. And I went in, of course, and I did my interview. Of course, I didn't get it. My heart was in it and into it. I just went through the motions, right? I wasn't even upset about it because it wasn't aligned, and I just knew that, right? So the closer, if you're going for something like me, looking for this teaching job at that time, and I'm going and trying, and it's not working, don't sweat it. Realize that it's because there's something better for you. All right, guys, I hope that this has helped you. I hope that you can see some of the stories that I tell you in yourself, and you can put two and two together with your own life, with your own experiences, and allow yourself to feel the joy in everything you do without beating yourself up when you don't get the thing that your ego wanted to get, and allow yourself to have love and joy in your life. Much love to you. Please share so other people can receive these messages. Like the podcast if you liked it, and leave a review if you would like to. That would really, really help me out. Okay, thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.